Hi, in this video we are going to understand how to connect a JDBC source in PySpark. When we say JDBC, it means Java Database Connectivity. It started from Java, but it has become very generic, and lot of sources they have JDBC drivers now, like MySQL, Postgres, Oracle, SQL Server, MariaDB, SQLite. So in general, whatever SQL database you may have heard of, it most probably will support JDBC connection, and that makes it very generic and very useful option to connect in Spark. It is supported across lot of languages, and Spark obviously supports it. So let's understand how exactly we can connect to it in Spark. So to make this connection, first of all, we need a JDBC URL. How exactly we can get it? It depends on the source. And in this example, we will be connecting with our own SQL warehouse. So in my workspace, if we go to compute section and SQL warehouses section, so this is the warehouse we are going to try to connect using JDBC. Although we will be connecting it within the same workspace, but logically it will work for any source the exact same way. So to connect to the SQL warehouse, they have given various options, and it supports JDBC connection also. So this is how we can get JDBC connection for any SQL warehouse within Databricks. For other sources also, we can get it from source teams, or like whoever is the admin team, they can provide it. So this is the URL I have copied, and then we need to store it in a variable. So that entire URL I have used it here. And to connect to this URL, we will need to authenticate, so that it knows that the user who is running the query, that user has the permission. And for authentication, different JDBC drivers or sources, they may support different ways. Like some will support username password, some will support access token, some will support managed identity. These are just different ways of authentication, so those will be provided by the admin team. In our case, because this is our workspace only, so to connect to this URL we will need something called as access token. And how exactly we can get token is, we go here and then settings. In settings we go to developer option, and here we get our access tokens. So if I go to manage, and here I can generate any new token. Let's say we can give it any name, and this lifetime we can change it. By default it is 1 day. We can change it to maximum 237 days, sorry, 270 days I think. And this is the token generated. Once it is generated, we need to copy it and save it somewhere. It will not be visible if we come back here. Like now I cannot see it again or copy it due to security reasons. So that's why it is important to copy it somewhere safe. Once we have copied it, then this is where we will store our access token. And once we have these two details for our Databricks, then we will be able to connect to Spark. So on this warehouse that we were talking about, we are going to try to connect to this particular catalog. So in our Unity catalog, we have our own catalogs, or we can connect to the samples also. Anything will work. For now I am putting samples because that you can also directly try. And within this we have this table. So this is where you can get the complete table name. And what we are going to try to do is, we will run a query here. So this is our table name, and we want to do a select star from this table limit 100. And basically we can provide any kind of SQL query, which can be joining multiple table or doing any transformation. Whatever it is, the same query will run on that SQL source. And this is how we read it in Spark. We provide all these options. So this time the format is JDBC. Then in the URL we provide the complete JDBC URL, and in the user we mention token. So this is how Databricks works. Like in the user, we provide the name token, and in the password, we provide the actual access token. Depending on the other sources, you may get a separate username and password also. So that depends. We need to explore that. After providing all these things, then we put the dot load. So this is how it will be able to connect to that warehouse, run this SQL query, and then display the results to us. So when we are running it, it will be connecting to our SQL warehouse, and by default it was in stopped state. Now it is starting because that code it is trying to connect here. That code it will start it. After starting, it will run the query, get the result, and then show us the result. Now we can see it is running, and now this will also run the query and then return us the results. Here are our results, and as we can see, it has read the data. The dataset itself, it has 48 rows, so that's what it has returned. But our query it ran successfully. And there is one more way to use the JDBC. So rest of the options are same here, but instead of just providing the query directly, we can simply provide the table name also with this option dbtable. So in our previous example, we had put our entire query here. In this option, the query is not there. We have put the name dbtable, and we have given the complete table name. And this time it will read the complete table and then show us the results. So the results are same only. So if we need anything custom, then we use the query option. If we need to read entire table, then we use this option. So this is how easily we can connect with the JDBC sources in Databricks. And after you test it out, so don't forget to delete your token, because that is a security thing. In your case, you may want to keep it, but because I have shown it in the video, so I will go ahead and delete it. So this is how easily we can revoke the token. Once we revoke it, nobody will be able to use that token even if they have it. And so it will throw an error and say that it is the invalid token. So this is how easily we can connect to JDBC sources in PySpark. So if you have any doubts, then let me know. Thanks for watching. Bye bye for now.